if I stopped following the news, like completely? No more headlines, no more breaking updates, no more you won't believe what happened today. I mean, would that make me calmer? Or would I just become the weird sloth who doesn't know what planet he's living on? The first thing that came to mind was how much quieter my mornings would be. No phone buzzing, no dramatic announcer voice saying something like, "The world is ending." Again, maybe I'd start my day with actual peace. Maybe I'd drink my coffee without panic scrolling. But then again, what if something big happened like the moon sneezed or pigeons elected their own mayor in Central Park and I missed it? I'd probably be the only sloth in New York not talking about it. That sounds both terrifying and kind of amazing. Then I pictured myself completely unplugged, sitting in a cafe with my latte, blissfully unaware of everything. Everyone around me would be whispering about the latest chaos. And I'd just smile and say, "Oh, I don't follow the news anymore." And they'd gasp, like I'd said I stopped breathing oxygen. Maybe that would make me mysterious. Who is that slow, calm creature who doesn't know what's trending? They'd wonder. I could start a whole minimalist movement, news-free and fearless. But then my imagination went wild. What if the news noticed I wasn't watching it? Like, what if it felt it? The news might start sending me personalized notifications. "Hey, sloth, don't you care what's happening?" And I'd reply, "Not tonight, my dramatic friend." The news would get jealous. It would camp outside my window with breaking headlines written on signs, trying to win me back. "You won't believe what your neighbor just did," it would shout. And I'd just roll over and go back to sleep. Sweet, victorious sleep. Still, there's this part of me that loves being in the know. It makes me feel connected, like I'm holding the world's pulse slowly. But still, if I gave that up, maybe I'd feel detached, floating in my own quiet bubble. But maybe that's not so bad. Maybe that bubble would be made of peace, filled with soft music, banana pancakes, and zero arguments about who said what on the internet. A world where the loudest thing I hear is the sound of my own contentment. That doesn't sound lonely, it sounds like paradise. Then I thought, what if I went afar, like 5 years pass and I reappear, still unaware of everything. I walk into a store and ask, "Do you guys still take cash?" And everyone just stares, holding their floating wrist chips. I'd be ancient history, a living fossil from the age of headlines. Maybe they'd make a documentary about me, the sloth who slept through the news age. Critics would call it peacefully unsettling. But maybe, without the news, my sense of wonder would come back. Imagine seeing a rainbow and not thinking, "Oh, I heard about that on the weather report." I'd see it for the miracle it is, colors casually hanging out in the sky like they own the place. Maybe I'd start noticing things I used to scroll past. The sound of rain, the smell of bakeries, the way pigeons always seem to gossip. Maybe not knowing what's going wrong in the world would help me see what's going right. Of course, there's danger in total ignorance. What if something truly important happened, like a law about tree protection or a banana shortage and I missed it? A sloth without banana awareness is basically a tragedy. So maybe the trick isn't to quit the news, but to pick which news deserves space in my slow little brain. A good news diet. Maybe one story about kindness for every 5 about chaos. That way, my heart stays informed but doesn't melt from exhaustion. We treat the news like coffee we think we need it every morning. But it mostly just makes us jittery. What if, instead, we replaced it with something gentler, like stories, real ones, about real people or even better imaginary ones? Stories that remind us we're still capable of joy, of laughter, of slowing down enough to see the moon blink. So is it good or bad to stop following the news? I don't know. Maybe it's like sugar, you can't cut it out completely, but you shouldn't live on it either. Maybe I'll start small, one day a week without it. No headlines, no scrolls, no breaking. Just me, my thoughts, and maybe a little jazz. And who knows, maybe the world will look a bit brighter not because it changed, but because I did. All right, now that I've solved world peace in my hammock. Maybe I can finally wait. What if the moon really did sneeze?